Hello, Jody. Hello, everyone. I'm Anthi Frangiadis from the Drawing Room in downtown New Bedford, and I'm joined today by Jody Seivert, who is a consultant in the national home furnishings industry. I'm happy to have you here, and I'm happy to have you as a New Bedford neighbor.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thank you.
So you're very welcome. This is part of a discussion that we're having, Find It, Paint It, Love It.
Yes.
And it's about repurposing old furniture. A lot of us talk about that old brown furniture that we either inherited or we see a lot of in a variety of the different antique malls in our area, as well as other people's homes.
Yes.
So in terms of repurposing and upcycling, as some people like to call it,
Yep.
Why do you think it's such a great idea to do that, to upcycle furniture?
Well, I think it's a great idea for a lot of reasons. It's fun is one of it. We are fortunate to have some great antique stores here and that are very well priced. And so the ability to go out and if you know what you're looking for in terms of what the silhouette or what the function is that you're looking for, and the ability to take something that is brown and make it into something exciting is really one. The other, I think, is the practicality of it. That I think I sent you recently that there was an article about Restoration Hardware that is now doing a significant portion of their business is with vintage furniture because they can get it. They can repurpose it, while special order products right now are taking 4 to 6 months to a year.
No supply chain issues.
No supply chain issues. As long as we can paint it, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think that those are two of the reasons, and that the ability to find nice quality vintage furniture. It doesn't even have to be antique or to vintage furniture that was nicely made, and what you can buy it for now at a fraction of what new furniture is, that unless you're buying very nice quality furniture, it's not great furniture.
Well, it's not made with the same quality materials as it used to be.
Not the same quality materials, not the same quality craftsmanship, and even the quality of the fabrics that they're using for upholstery. It's just not, yeah.
It's not there.
And it's, when we look at what we have now that is commercially viable furniture, isn't all really lovely and unique and interesting. And so when you can find something that is nicely made, that you can adapt to your lifestyle in colors that work for you, and you can really make it unique and something that is special or signature or one of a kind, it
seems to become a personal statement piece.
Absolutely.
Right, especially if it's in your colors, a unique shape or function in the right spot.
In the right spot. And I remember the piece that you had that was that red. You had it painted red, that china.
Oh, yes, the piece that was the china cabinet.
So magnificent.
Yes, that happily went to a new customer.
Yay. That was beautiful. Yes. That was just beautiful.
Yeah, that particular piece had curved glass doors, and we had painted it the color blazer, which is as you might guess, is a bright red color. And we played with different finishes on that particular piece, where we painted the interior of the cabinet in full gloss and the exterior of the cabinet in a brushed finish. It did come out great.
It did.
And it's in a new home. So
yay.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the other things that when we talk about upcycling and recycling and repurposing, or whatever we want to call it, furniture, that it's just, there the two items in the world of sustainability, that furniture, even good furniture, is toxic. It's just it's varnishes and it's foams and it's just
glue.
It's not glue, and things that you just really don't want to put in the landfill, and which is where a lot of new stuff actually belongs to begin with, but which is unfortunate, right? And so not only are we not using more materials to make new furniture, but we're not putting existing furniture in into a landfill. So it gets both sides of the equation really well, and that the individuality of it and the sustainability of it, I think, probably supersedes almost anything.
Well, and in a lot of my design work, I come across cabinets that people are either trying to give a new look to, or repurpose, or relocate. And I know that it doesn't always pertain to just furniture. It's, cabinet painting as well. It is time intensive, but a good quality cabinet can be repurposed with a fresh coat of paint or a new finish.
Well, I'm hopeful that that the younger generations will find that to be so, that they will find that the silhouette of something that their parents or grandparents had will be interesting enough to them that if they wanted to use it again in a new setting with a new finish and a new color and something that's going to go with what they currently have, that they will be sort of directed that way, because it's just such a better way to go.
Do you have a collection of chairs or furniture from family members, grandparents, mothers?
I do. I have some, of course, the name escapes me right now, but I have some Windsor chairs. They're behind me. Oh, you can see them up right there if I move that way. Yeah, I have some Windsor chairs that were brown. They are Haywood Wakefield chairs they're nothing special, but they're solid maple chairs that were brown. And I had them growing up. My mother bought them. She got them with S&H green stamps, I had to say. But
wow.
I replaced the table with an antique table, beautiful 1700s table. And the chairs were painted. And the first time I did them, I painted them a very bright, like the blazer that you use. It was very bright, and it was like the first color. And when I went to look at it, and Dave said, you need to come and look at these chairs. And I did, and they were a little too orange. And what we did is we painted another color over it. And so when he distressed it, not only does he distress down to the wood so you can see the brown or beyond that, but on the saddle, on the seats, and on some of the turnings, he did it to the bright color below. So it was a beautiful way to see through the color into the next color. So it was beautiful. So the mistake turned out to be a really great thing to do.
Right, because you're talking about layering different colors of paint.
Absolutely.
So that is a great way to do it. So what do you look for in furniture when you're looking to select pieces to paint or repurpose?
Well, there's a lot, actually. So probably the first thing is, do I like what it looks like? Is the shape nice? Is the silhouette nice? Does the function of the piece, can it be repurposed for another function, or will its original function be satisfactory? Is it well made to begin with? Because junk that's 100 years old is still junk. So to really look for that. And in that same vein, not to have something that is so precious that its original state, it really should stay in its original state. Like one of the ones that we're going to do, we're going to keep it in its original state and just change the chair seat, because it really is a very nicely made, you can see how nicely it's made that way. And so things that are beautiful, but not so precious that you'll feel bad if you didn't, if you did something to its original.
Well, and also that you might possibly be devaluing something by painting it, right? Because it may have more value in its original state. Yeah, that particular piece that you and Jill found, I'm really excited about, because we're going to use a locally designed fabric, actually by Casey Gunn.
Yay!
On the new seat. So I'm really excited to see how that one will turn out.
Well, and it's a really pretty chair. And when we were looking at it, and Dave said, yeah, this is a period piece. I'm not sure you want to paint this. I thought, and when you look at it, and I get it, like I really value his opinion on stuff. And so when we look at it, that it was just a beautiful Chippendale chair, and the splat was nicely done, and the proportions are really nice. And so it's one of those things that you just don't want to change. There's another one though that the one of the tables that we're going to do green with an orange drawer. It's one of those that even when you first look at it, it's lackluster. It's not bad, but you would never notice it. And in looking at the hardware that's on it, which is very simple hardware, that one might think about replacing the hardware until you change it green with an orange drawer. You paint it green with an orange drawer. It's like, no, let's leave that hardware exactly the way it is, because it's right with a new look and a new color to it that is really,
Well, and Dave Soroy's, who is a gentleman here in New Bedford who refinishes a lot of pieces for us. I've been fortunate. I met him through Jody. He has strong opinions about some of those things too.
Yes.
I mean, and he always makes good recommendations in terms of paint it or don't paint it, hardware and no hardware, original hardware or new funky hardware.
Yes.
In terms of crystal balls, or we have some great little nautical shapes for hardware now too, to dress things up.
Well, one of the things that in making pieces unique are, just as you said about, I love the idea of using two finishes of the same color in whether it's interior, exterior, or that could be part of the design itself, that to combine that. I hadn't thought of it quite like that before, as well as what we thought of with one of our local artists, and you need to come by and see who that is and what it is, in participating in this to make not just painted furniture something that is special and unique on its own, but it's actually art in and of itself. So I am very excited for our local wonderful painter who's going to participate with us. So you'll need to come and see that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that too. So how would you recommend that, or how do you usually go about picking the right color for a product or for a piece of furniture?
Well, I think it's a few things. So one is like, how big is it? Where's it going to go? So size, placement, other pieces near it, background. I know that when you did the red piece, that's a large piece for something that is as bright a color, but it didn't feel that bright the way it was done. That the finish was eggshell on the outside and the gloss on the inside. So there was something about that was really special, because with some of with larger pieces, and depending on where they're going to go, it's probably safer to do something that is more subtle. I know that some of the pieces that I know Dave has done have been either charcoal gray or black in an eggshell finish, or white or cream, or in subtle finishes for some of his larger pieces. And the thing I like about those is that dark or light, is that there's nothing about the color that takes away from the distressing, because the distressing is a real part of the beauty of the piece. And when you can see a piece like some of his bow front chests, and he finds them, and some of the bow front chests that he uses, that when he distresses them, that I'm thinking of the one that my sister has in charcoal, that the edges are just so beautiful. And she also has another one in a cream finish, that again, the distressing is so beautiful on the pieces in the painting. And that's, I think, what separates the work that he does from other people who just paint stuff.
So for people who don't know what the distressing that you're referring to is, can you describe that?
Thank you for that. Thank you for asking, because he will take the edges of something and sand the edges and distress the edges, so that he may have a couple of shades of a color on that you can see both of them, as he did with my chairs, or the areas that are going to naturally have abrasion marks on them. Like the stretchers on my chairs, they're very heavily distressed, because that's where you put your feet when you're sitting in the chair. And so where there's a lot of abrasion is where he will go all the way to the wood. And so it really gives a real depth of the not just the finish, but it also it illustrates and enhances the silhouette of the piece and the turnings and details of the piece itself. So it's just absolutely beautiful.
Well, it's also another way to allow the age of a piece to come through. Sort of, yeah, like we all haven't been embracing our gray.
We all haven't been. You're right. But I hope to get to that. I hope to be brave enough at some point to actually do that.
So I have a friend who recently picked up a piece. Actually, it was a piece that someone else was looking to unload. So it was a free piece. And we ended up moving some furniture around in her space. And one of the suggestions that I made to her was a large cabinet piece with a center and two end pieces. And the two end pieces had glass fronts. So one of the things that we're looking at now is we're looking at wallpapering the inside of the glass front cabinets so that rather than painting the entire piece, because this one is a fairly nice wood, it's a warm wood, but giving it some character and some life by adding a piece of wallpaper to the back of it. So I know that that's not just paint, but we have been using paper in repurposing some of our pieces as well. There is a piece that we have here in the drawing room that I refer to as the Wardrobe of Curiosities. It's a piece that was made by Payne Furniture.
My first customer. Payne Furniture was my first customer when I started my business in '88.
That's so great. On the back of it, there's an original stamp of theirs. I should actually look at the date. But we have it here, and we did a combination. We ended up, it's a drawer piece, and we ended up painting the drawers and then lining the inside of the drawers with wallpaper, with a coordinating wallpaper, but left a lot of the wood exposed. So depending on the piece, it's not necessarily always painting or always wallpapering. You can do a combination of those as well. So
I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that, and the variety of things that you can do. That, you know, whether it's, as you said, with the glossy or matte finishes, or paper, or I know that I was looking at the Liberty of London fabrics that go with the Farrow and Ball things, and they're just beautiful. And so to be able to create, there's nothing like it. And as much as I love furniture and I love new furniture, this is just, it's just such a way of satisfying so many masters. The creative part of it, the fun part of it, creating things that are unique and sustainable and available and affordable, a lot of ables. It really satisfies a lot of things. So I'm so excited that we continue to do this.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see the way that our pieces work out. So over the past few weeks, we have been scouring downtown New Bedford and some of those antique locations that you may or may not know about, looking for pieces that have interesting silhouettes, interesting frames, interesting details, and good bones, as we like to say. And we've been debating on colors, we've been debating on finishes, and we have a collection of furniture that we are going to be putting forward, weather depending. We'll be outside of the drawing room on our front porch on Saturday, October 9th from 11 to 2. Jody will be here, I will be here, as well as another local maker, J&J Woodworking of Marion. John repurposes and restores furniture as well as builds new furniture. Beautiful. So he'll be bringing a selection of his pieces. You may have a question for him. You may have a question for Jody or I. We're looking forward to seeing you in downtown New Bedford at 36 North Water Street on Saturday, October 9th from 11 to 2. Thanks,
and we'll have our surprise artist joining us too.
Oh, yes. And our surprise artist piece, I should say, we've been our favorite.
Yeah, our favorite.
Thank you, Jody. It was good to see you.
Thank you. Same here.
Bye, all.